Sharon, great to meet you. Welcome to A-Training.
Thank you so much.
Where did it all begin? Take us back. You created this company, Crystal Clear. When did it happen? How did it happen?
Gosh, 30 years ago. Well, 30 years old next year.
Wow.
So 1995, seeing the launch of Crystal Clear.
Mm-hmm.
And my background has always been skin.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work for a very big cosmetic surgery company.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked after the plastic surgeon's patients.
Wow.
After various different skin treatments, such as dermabrasion, the old-fashioned mechanical method of taking all of the epidermis off. And I think it was there that I saw, oh gosh, some of the post-operative problems you can get with surgery cannot be controlled. And I remember thinking, there's got to be an easier way. Anyway, I did do some traveling to find other techniques. I went to work with a surgeon, Dr. Zian Obashi, in Beverly Hills, and I really liked his peeling at the time. He was doing blue peels. He had this new range. He's a really exciting, innovative doctor, but it still wasn't for me, those particular techniques. And then we went over to Italy. We were looking at another peeling system because we were looking to replace dermabrasion. Because it was traumatic for patients.
So for a lot of our kind of listeners, really, to excuse the pun, are not been around 30 years. So skin's done full circle. What I like about it is that really we kind of doing a resurface of where we were, but a better version. So what was dermabrasion?
Well, when I ended up in Italy looking at another chemical peel and came across the medical version of microdermabrasion, which still meant hitting the skin with crystals, blast the skin at a certain speed, take off the epidermis skin cells, and the patient would go home, but she'd still have a post-op recovery time. And when you're dealing with patients that how to look after their skin after dermabrasion, and then you've got this technique that's still doing the same amount of damage, but you're not sure that the post-op recovery period, it was like, oh gosh, you're best sometimes to stick with what you know. However, I remember looking at that technique, I've always been involved in skin, and thinking, if I could make a system that blasted crystals at the skin, but did it in a progressive way over a series of weeks, rather than an aggressive full sweep on one treatment. So I came back from that trip, and that was a trip that really changed everything, because that's when Crystal Clear came. And I remember thinking, right, okay, we went to Liverpool University, and we asked them, could they help us develop a system whereby using the same function of that original microdermabrasion, but hitting the skin at a gentler speed. Then I started looking at all of the data behind that, wrote up all the data, got involved with some scientists who also helped us put it all together. And then I remember launching the very first microdermabrasion system to the industry in the September of 1995 at a trade show, Professional Beauty in Manchester. And we didn't have that much funding, and everything had gone into the system. And I remember being there exhibiting, thinking, oh gosh, are we going to sell anything? We didn't actually sell a system to the general salons or clinics. However, we had so many distributors saying to us, have you got a distributor in the UK? And I knew when we came away from that show, that's it, this is going to be really, really good. So we did appoint a distributor very early on for us, because we didn't have that knowledge. Mine was innovation and skin, and we needed someone to help us. But very quickly I realised that I wanted to be in control of our own destiny with Crystal Clear, and certainly on a training point, because you can't rely on someone else training the way you would train, and it's your system. So that first machine got launched, and it just went crazy, because at the time in the sector we had like microcurrent facial lifting, you had glycolic peels, but there was nothing really as a proper skin resurfacing technique apart from going to the surgeon's office or the doctor.
Can I just clarify, because obviously being around 35 years ago, what's the difference then with the diamond tip and your version? Because there's a lot of confusion about what makes one better than the other.
This is a really good question, because I've worked with microdermabrasion for so many years, and we are a manufacturer. That's what I do, and develop equipment now. We can develop everything. And along the years, clinics and salons have said to me, oh, Sharon, I've seen this diamond tip dermabrasion. Can you do something like that? And I've gone, no, I don't want to. Well, why don't you want to? Every treatment has its place.
Absolutely.
However, traditional proper microdermabrasion means lifting those dead skin cells off in a really controlled format. So with traditional microdermabrasion, years ago there was dust everywhere.
Yeah.
Now those systems don't exist.
No.
There's no dust. As soon as you take, with our system, as soon as you take the nozzle off the skin, there's no crystals. It's gone. What happens with traditional microdermabrasion such as ours, when those crystals blast the skin, they take it off in a really controlled fashion. You've got total control. With diamond tipped microdermabrasion or resurfacing, they're more or less scraping it off. Now, if I had my machine here to do the demonstration, what I do to my clients, so they understand it, I'll get a piece of paper, a coloured card, then I'll put the nozzle onto the coloured card, put it on maximum, and right away you see a very clear, say it's on black, you see a very clear white circle. And that's where it's lifted off really precisely, being same for the skin. If we do the same with the diamond tip dermabrasion, it's literally scratching away at it.
So is it more damage?
It's not as effective,
not
in
controlled.
my opinion. Because exactly. So I work a lot with scarring. If you're working with scarring, you need to be really precise, and the scar doesn't heal the same all over. Some areas are really sensitive, the skin's really thin, so you've got to be really careful. Now with microdermabrasion, or I'm going to call it crystal clear microdermabrasion with the volcanic crystals, you can actually really see what you're doing and change your pressure on each level. And microdermabrasion with crystals is about changing the pressure. I always like it when I'm in control of a system and it's not in control.
So you can individualize it for different skin types.
So bespoke. And I could have easily done the diamond tip.
Sure.
And all the years we've had water, hydro microdermabrasion. And I think as manufacturers, people jump on other people's names. Look how many hydro machines are out there now. And the same happened with microdermabrasion, but they all have their place, but it's not traditional microdermabrasion, and it can't be because it's not as controlled. Now, I've heard it at Shabbat Weird 10 shows, and that people will come and go, oh yeah, but crystal microdermabrasion, there's crystals everywhere, or there isn't. Now, technology, the nozzle goes on the skin, soon as it comes off, airflow stopped, no crystals, there's no airborne dust, so it's a really controlled method. I prefer it because it gives me a bespoke, customizable treatment for every single patient or client.
So also I think what a lot of people in the past have attempted to be very aggressive towards the skin. I know with my clients, I feel that actually working with the skin in harmony and looking at the different types of collagen, looking at how the body repairs, looking at the repair mechanism, the mast cells, and how the fibroblasts and how the glycosaminoglycans work. So as a more gentle approach, you're still getting as an effective result.
Yes, most definitely. Rather than, because I'm a big believer in don't be too aggressive on the skin. Treat the skin with passion, because gosh, I can't think of the word, my brain's gone. Treat the skin, respect the skin, respect the skin. You don't have to be aggressive with microdermabrasion. You can do that really gentle approach week by week and achieve, because we did it in the early days, you can achieve the same results as the surgeon would with his really deep exfoliation of the skin and the patient going away and them having that post-operative recovery time and crusting and falling off. But you can do it gently over a series of, say, 6 or 10 treatments, get the same result without the downtime and without the skin distress and without any discoloration going on, because obviously you've got the problem of hyperpigmentation when you start to...
Because the body does respond, it does release, as you say, melanin, and it does protect itself if it goes into protection mode. So really back in 1995, you launched, you got everything going, you became a leader, business was thriving, everything was doing great, and you really made a name for yourself and as a brand. We're going to come back to the business and how you built a great, strong business and how, that has been your forefront. But then you know, what I like is, and why we've introduced you here at A Training as part of our level 5 aesthetic practice training, is you've kind of now developed the next technology, you know, with Skin Storm. So where you were and where it was with your crystal clear and your dermabrasion, how did you get from dermabrasion 1995 to 2024 and the launch of Skin Storm?
Gosh,
I know there's a big app.
Certainly a huge journey in between, lots of different systems along the way. And Skin Storm came about as my passion for skin. I started developing Skin Storm before COVID hit. So COVID, probably as horrendous as it was, did me a favour in respect. It gave me more time. So I thought, right, I'm going to finish that system. And what I wanted at the time was, after all my years' experience working with different surgeons, looking at different treatments, looking at everything that was out there, I wanted to create a multi-layering treatment that you could treat the skin, but keeping the skin really distressed. I'm a big believer in keep the skin distressed as much as you can, and you'll get more beneficial results of the actual treatment. So it was about, right, what treatments can I put together? What have I learned in my 30 odd years of being in the sector? And I want, you know, at the time, a lot of my clients were saying to me, "Oh, Sharon, can you make a vortex cleanse?" Because hydrofacial was here and it was going. Everyone was talking about hydrofacial, and I thought, you know, I'm not going to do hydrofacial's fine, but I'm not going to do a system with just a vortex cleanse because for me, it wasn't enough. I needed to be able to go, it does this and it does that and it does this. But however, I thought, I know, I'll put vortex cleansing as my number one element. So I decided on that system I was going to have 5 different elements of treatment, a really intensive, multi-layered approach, a bespoke, personalised facial that treated anything from a younger skin with acne to an older skin with lines and wrinkles, you know, laxity, pigmentation. I wanted something, it's all about skin. I wanted something that would go hand in hand with a lot of our clients that were doing fillers and doing skin boosters, but it's still about the skin. It's all about the skin. If the skin looks good, then the fillers and the boosters look even better. You're just, you know, really enhancing the result. So I thought, right, okay, I need...
So system 1 is the vortex. So that's, is it a BHA?
No, with vortex cleansing. So I did include vortex cleansing into it, even though I didn't want to at the time, but I thought I'll do it with a twist. So what I did on my vortex cleansing, I thought, okay, if we're treating an acne-prone skin, what do we need? We need oxygen to help kill the bacteria. So now with my vortex cleansing, I use a solution which is niacinamide, vitamin C. It's into a cooling container. Underneath the container, it's the world's first. Underneath the container, we infuse the solution with topical dissolved oxygen. I've worked with oxygen systems for years, the topical dissolved oxygen. But by infusing the solution with topical dissolved oxygen and then cooling it with a Peltier plate, you're holding the oxygen in the solution. The solution is then brought up through the handset onto the skin. It literally lifts out any deep-seated impurities, but it's feeding the skin with oxygen. Because topical dissolved oxygen penetrates 700 microns deeper than our gaseous forms that we used to use, it penetrates to where we need it, where the bacteria starts in the sebaceous gland.
So you're repairing as well as cleaning.
But also, if I've got an older skin like mine, for example, because our skin, you know, we take, I think, 75% of the oxygen from the outside atmosphere, our skin needs oxygen. So I'm feeding the skin, I'm revitalizing it, and stimulating the mitochondria inside the cells. So I'm actually doing something really active for the skin. So suddenly I'm not just a vortex cleanse. I'm a treatment. I'm an actual, you're going to get the benefits of that gorgeous glow, but you're going to get the benefits of topical dissolved oxygen. So my second element was aimed around, okay, I'm still going to use my traditional microdermabrasion because to me, that is the best way of resurfacing the skin in a controlled manner. So it doesn't matter what I'm treating, it's bespoke. So resurfacing, and then after on our resurfacing treatment and on our resurface and heal microdermabrasion systems, we've changed it. We still use our traditional volcanic crystals because it's really controlled, but we have a blue and red light on the handset. So if we're working with acne or problem skin, we're actually helping kill the bacteria as well as we're working If we're working with an aging skin, then we'll help the red lights help them repair. So it's something more of benefit. We then go on to, I call it our inside out treatment. So you've got your resurfacing, then we do our peeling. So one takes care of anything on the outer surface, and the other is a combination of 5 different AHAs that's working in a different layer.
So this is the third process.
Yes. So but again, with our peeling system, we pour the peeling solution into the container at the back of the system. It's the only one in the world. It's infused with topical dissolved oxygen. Then it's cooled. So the peeling solution now is infused with topical dissolved oxygen that's going to penetrate to the dermal layer. It's going to penetrate deep in the skin to repair, but takes away any irritation with the peel.
That's what I noticed, because I really am a little bit, I love having my treatments, but it does have an effect on my skin. What I noticed about having it was how less distressed my skin was afterwards.
Is about
the oxygen.
It's the oxygen. It's cooling the oxygen. By cooling the oxygen and infusing it into those solutions, you're keeping the skin. You're doing intensive treatment, and it is an intensive treatment, but completely distressed. The next element in our treatment is our iced microneedling. Now, I've loved microneedling forever. I really love the.
Again, it's done a 360. It's back. Everyone's talking about it. It's brilliant. It's a stable kind of treatment plan in all clients' skin.
But what we've done with our microneedling is done a twist on it. So instead of it just being microneedling, which you can get quite traumatic, clients can feel it, you have to use numbing cream, you can get blood spots. With our microneedling, we've changed that. We still use, we treated a doctor about 2 weeks ago who's big on the traditional microneedling. And at the end of the trip, she went, what size needle do you use? We'd used 0.75. I thought, I can't believe it, I just didn't feel a thing. Because she's always been quite, oh gosh, I'm going to feel it. So what our treatment, the ice needling does, again, you've got a bath, like a water bath at the back of the system. We put what we call our F10 serum in that water bath. It's fed with the topical dissolved oxygen. So in that F10 serum, we call it drone technology. It's fed with the topical dissolved oxygen, comes to the handset. So as we make our microchannels in the skin, don't forget we cooled everything anyway. The skin is cold, really cold. The F10 is penetrating and the oxygen directly through those channels. So you don't need any numbing cream because it's cold. The F10 and the topical dissolved oxygen is able to really penetrate. So the oxygen, you're getting the benefits because it's being able to be transported to where it needs to be. It keeps the skin distressed, very distressed. But also the serum that we use, the F10 contains, it's an ingredient that literally acts as drone technology. So I call it the satellite navigation system. It goes directly to the fibroblast cell and tells it how to behave and stimulates that.
And this is, I think, where people get confused. I mean, I remember kind of when we did the rollers and you were hacking out and you were taking blood and the vampire facials, the deeper, the more blood that you got. And really now through my own learning, I understand that actually really the skin and where, 0.78, everything germinating layer, everything happens, the growth layer is at a depth that really you don't need to be as aggressive. And I think that's working in harmony with it. And what I liked about your system and with my clients and seeing the results that I've seen already on my clients is how quickly that delivery system gets results, and they can literally walk out after having it done without looking like they've had a treatment. It's crazy.
I think that really is the benefits of skin storm. It's all about the skin, and the client will walk away looking amazing. And you think, oh my God, after all, I've never put all those treatments together in the past, but we can, because every element we use is topical dissolved cooled oxygen. We also use phototherapy light. So, for example, if we've got a client that's there's a lot of erythema there, she's really sensitive, you get the clients, you just put the light on for a little bit longer, you use a blue light, you use a green light, you use a red light, the infrared. It's all around a bespoke facial. The last element of the treatment is what we call high-low fusion. And that really is what we use a balance of the F10 serum that's oxygenated. We take it with a syringe, we apply it to the skin, and then literally we use a really high air pressure to blast it into the skin very superficially. So you get this beautiful, firmer, plumped up, gorgeous glowing skin.
But it penetrates through. So you're actually going and infusing, and it goes to the delivery system, and it penetrates hybrid into the skin, which is really, really good. So those 5 elements that you've created in a one-stop machine, because I must admit, obviously, you know, everyone kind of got onto the machines, got onto the bandwagon, and I kind of felt like it was a bit like having a car wash. So you laid there, you got drenched, and, you know, you got blasted, and then you come out and it was like, 30 minutes going through a car wash, bit of a wheel scrub. And I thought, well, okay, if the results are great, it's worth it. But I never really found that there was a result. And I think what's different about your system is the technology and the different 5 steps uniquely deliver the system, and then you get a result, because it's no good doing a mamby-pamby kind of touch kind of facial in this industry now where it's going without actually making a difference and seeing a result. And the results, you know, after 1 treatment's great, you know, 3 treatments fantastic, but you can multi-layer the treatments, you can work with all skin types, and you can work with all, you know, different skin colors. And I just think the results speak for themselves. What about the business element of it? So obviously, how does it work? How expensive is it to deliver?
Depending on where the clinic is situated, obviously north and south, we still have that divide. We do. So, you know, we have clinics in London, Belgravia, Holland Park, which would probably charge $350 a treatment. And we have clinics in the north that would be $150, $180.
So you're kind of around 150 upwards. What's the time frame to deliver a treatment?
Normally, once you've trained, we'd say 50 minutes. And again, Chris, it's very... What I wanted with Skin Storm, I didn't want you do this step, this step, this step, and for that long. I wanted it to be bespoke. So the idea is the client comes in and you're actually tailoring the treatment to what her skin needs. So that client may only need 40 minutes.
So it's not a car wash.
No, if I've got a client with active acne, I'm not going to do the high pressure at the end. I'm going to really concentrate on actually cleaning, resurfacing, the peeling element. She's got any scarring, the needling. It'll all be done maybe 2 minutes there, 3 minutes there. So it really is bespoke. So it really depends on what you're treating. But I think it's been good for us along the way, because we've sold as well into some plastic surgery hospitals. That's been interesting, because his pain, well, one in particular, Andrea Miranda in Manchester, he does a lot of facelifts and body work, and he was dedicated to systems because, you know, as a surgeon, you can get a scalpel, or you know, you do injectables, you can make your money doing those. But what he realised was his patients were going somewhere else for the treatments, and he would get a lot better result if he could get the skin in tip-top condition prior to his surgery. So now with his facelift patients, they have to have 2 storms prior and 2 storms after. And I remember I did his first clinic list because they were his patients, and I wanted to make sure everything was fine. And one of his clients came out and said, "Oh gosh, Andrea, you know, I think you've lost me. Look what Sharon's done to my décolleté in my hands." Because while her mask was on, I treated her décolleté, I did her hands, and there are things that she wouldn't necessarily have done in that aesthetic setting. So I think for him now, he advertises hand rejuvenation, he advertises décolletés, he has a separate price list for those body treatments. Now, unless I'd been working with them, I probably wouldn't have realised that part of the business, because I was all about, it's the skin, it's the face. But that is a huge area.
Some great hands, some great neck treatments, and it's the areas that show. What's the cost to deliver a treatment for a practitioner? So obviously £150, we work on the model of 60 minutes, you want to be making around £150 profit in this aesthetics business. Obviously, profit is where businesses need to pitch themselves. We don't undersell. We want to do treatments that get results and you deliver, but obviously we want to make profit.
Yeah.
So what would the cost of a treatment be for them to deliver?
We normally say it's around £19 per
Great.
treatment.
Yeah. So £130 upwards minimum, you're going to be kind
and to be honest, Chris, there's not many of our clinics that probably charge 150. Even in Manchester, they're charging 195.
Yeah.
So
and obviously layer it as a package treatment for free.
Of course, we do it as a course of 5.
Yeah. So the ROI, return on investment, really, you're seeing a quick return. You know, on 4 or 5 clients a week, building their package treatments alongside injectables. And what's good here, when we brought the system in here, obviously as part of our level 5 training, and then obviously we delivered it, cascaded it out as part of our clients, is what we noticed very quickly was the revenue stream increased because people were telling their friends who might not necessarily have injectables. They came in and had the facial treatment, but then they start to ask about skin boosters. Because the biggest part for anyone building a business, and we get this time and time again when we train new people, is how am I going to find new people? And new people might not necessarily walk into your door and say, oh, I'd like a Botox, or I'd like a filler, or I'd like this. They may want to find out. They may want to kind of feel the experience, get to know you. And it's a great entry point to get that client to come in, look at their skin, do a program, do a consultation. And I think that's where we've seen a massive increase in our client numbers since we brought it in. And I must admit, I was like, you know, is it just a car wash? Is it just another, you know, system that's coming in? Because there's so many of them you can buy from Korea and around. I'm very much into oxygen, ozone, healing. Oxygen is the healing process of the body. So having seen the 5-step system and how you work with the light therapy, the oxygen, and the different systems that work, it delivered. But again, I'm also a businessman. It's got to make profit.
Of course.
And I don't want people in my business 2 hours with a mask sat doing a little massage for 40, 50 pounds, because that kind of arena's gone. But you need to stand out and justify why you're charging £150 plus for an actual treatment. So it does have to get results from the treatments. So I think to sort of summarize where you're sitting, where do you see the skin market going then? What do you see now at the minute happening?
I think it's exploding at the moment. I think we're all really becoming aware. I spoke to so many clinics again. Yeah, it's about the skin. It's not just my injectables. I've got to keep the patient there. I've got to keep that client coming back. She's got to walk away and go down the road. Otherwise, you know, it's a whole bespoke journey that they trust you. They want their skincare diagnosed, but they want you to tell them what they need to do. So we're missing, you know, and I always say to a lot of our clinics, if your client gets off the bed and she walks out and she doesn't take her product, for example, she's going to go somewhere else and buy it, but you haven't prescribed it. So it's really important that the client gets that whole journey. It is about the skin. You know, I think skin, we've just done, which is really nice for us. We're now trending as one of the 10 top aesthetic treatments. I was so happy in Forbes magazine. It's suddenly now gaining real momentum whereby people go, my God, the skin looks amazing, those results work. And more importantly, the skin is distressed. And I can build it into other treatments in my practice.
And there's a lot of good celebrities out there that we can't talk about that's having skin restored, that, you know, on TV, they need to look their best, but, you know, you want to get the results, but you don't want to look dumb. So I think that's the key thing. Talk to me now about going back about the brand of Crystal Clear. I'm going to step a little bit into, there's lots of new people out there coming into this business and everyone's saying, oh, you know, it's flatlined. Everyone's jumped on the bandwagon of aesthetics, and, you know, short training courses has meant that every sort of Tom, Dick and Harry is doing injectables. How have you managed with your business to kind of weather the storm and still be successful and still achieve what you've achieved? What as a businesswoman has made you different?
I think we've all, I'll be very honest, we'll take Skinstorm, for example. I could go and build Skinstorm in China for a fraction of the cost, but I won't.
No.
Because I want the quality of good old British manufacturing here. I want the quality of our trainers delivering to trained estheticians. Because the industry, I truly believe, does need regulating.
So it's not a 1 hour online training course, really?
No, and they have to be at least level 3, level 4. And when the new regulations come in, that's going to be increased, because it'll probably be level 5 that have to do needling. And I'm sure if we are all quite honest, we don't want the industry to get a bad reputation.
No.
People need to be trained properly. Years ago when we did our training, it was a good old 3 or 4 years training.
Practice, definitely. Apprenticeships, I think, is definitely going to be 2025 is going to be trending and coming back. You're going to see a lot of apprenticeships. So I think as a businesswoman, your brand's become stronger. So you're based in Liverpool, Rodney Street.
We certainly
How
are.
long have you been there?
We've moved around Rodney Street about 3 times, always on Rodney Street. 30 years next year.
Wow.
But we're due for a move.
So you're going to be going into training as well, which is really good.
I mean, we do training now, obviously with all our own systems and skincare, but I want to further that development now. And get
as qualifications, I think the way forward, anyone who's going to be manufacturing a machine or products, you're going to need to back that up with a regulated qualification. I definitely think that's the future. I also think what's nice as well, if I think about skin, I remember being in a meeting kind of 12 years ago, and it was all talking about beauty therapists. Beauty therapists shouldn't be injecting. Beauty therapists shouldn't be doing this. And beauty therapists was like spoken about, like really, to be honest, like shit on my shoe. And I think everyone kind of almost thought, I don't really want to be classed as a beauty therapist. And I think it's a bit like a trend or a trouser or the next haircut. I think beauty therapy went out of trend, but actually the skill set of the skin and the mechanism of the actual ability to deliver was always at the forefront, and their standards were always high. I think what's transitioned and moved forward actually as skin practitioners and as qualified level 5 aesthetic practitioners, they have the knowledge and the expertise with the machines to go to that next level. They're leveling up to that next ability. And I think it's exciting, but I also think to be proud of the business that they're doing and they're presenting and to put forward and not undersell themselves. I think the price is important, to pitch yourself, to believe in what you're doing and deliver it with a machine that works and the products that works and gets results of where it's actually at. What about your product range then? How did you develop that?
The product range came about is because with traditional, in the early days of microdermabrasion, I became aware very quickly that clients were going home and using anything on the skin. And whilst those products may have been good for a different brand, when you're doing microdermabrasion, you have to respect the skin. And what you need to make sure there's no hyperpigmentation. Developing in the skin is kept very clear. Plus, if we're treating pigmentation or you're treating an acne-prone skin or an aging skin, the whole idea is that's where the name came from, is to create a very crystal clear skin. So I introduced 4 products first, which was a cleanser, a really gentle cleanser that I knew after microdermabrasion the skin wouldn't react to. And I introduced brightening complex, skin repair, and we did a spritz tonic to lock everything in. Now, brightening complex and skin repair serum moisturizer are still our best selling products because brightening complex is maximum brightening actives in there involved in. It's clinically proven, and it must have been, when did we do the trials on that? About 25 years ago. We put it on a clinical trial, and we went up against, because I don't forget I'd been in America studying, and I'd worked with hydroquinone and stuff. Hydroquinone is a really effective skin lightener. So we put it up against a product out there I won't name, that was a hydroquinone based product, and we came out the same ability to take out the pigmentation, but ours was a better result because we improved the skin's hydration levels, because I had lots of other products in there. It wasn't just a skin lightener. So brightening complex is amazing for all skin types, but it controls the pigmentary changes in the skin, so it prevents anything happening after treatment. But if we are treating a pigmented skin or even a client, like me, for example, coming in, they've got aging skin, no makeup on, they're going to have discoloration. It's all about achieving that very translucent, clear skin, because your makeup goes on better if you've got clear skin, you feel better. And then skin repair, the moisturiser that we developed, again, is clinically proven. We did the trials for that about 25 years ago.
When you say develop, come on, be serious. You buy it from somebody else.
No. We would have made more profit along the years. And that's how I've really got into skin and innovation, where you're very much into aesthetics and innovation.
Yeah. Be serious. Do you actually get involved in every single product? Every single
ingredient. Some of them are bypass that they're pretty standard. Yeah. But certainly with the Arbiton, that's in the bright. The main actors, I've had my manufacturer say to me, Sharon, especially in some of our products, they're really high percentage. Like anti-age serum contains 7% Matrixyl and 5% Cinake and 4% biopeptides, which are really expensive products. And I've had manufacturers say, oh, Sharon, can't you just reduce some of the ingredients? It'll be a lot cheaper and a lot easier. And I go, no, I'm not reducing, because they're the products, that's the products I want. So a lot of our range are very high percentage actives in there.
And is that what makes you exciting developing?
I love it. I love developing.
Because your eyes have just lit up when we talked about the ingredients and how you make them. Yeah,
I can sit. It's really quite sad. I can research data for hours on different ingredients, why we use it with the skin. And I'm just developing now our new clinical range, which I was talking to the girls before we came into here. And I'm so excited about it because it's different. It's a very bespoke, purpose treatment-led regime that's really easy to use, but it's customizable to the client and has really high percentage actives, because there is a confusion about clinical products. The only real clinical products out there are anything that you've got a prescription for, such as retinoin or hydroquinone. The others are high percentage actives that we use, and that'll be a separate podcast at some point, just to explain the myths about different skin
I think there's definitely a lot of kind of smoke and mirrors about this claim, that claim, but I think it's all about the delivery system. It's all about how you get it into the skin, and most importantly, the traction of you've been around for 35 years.
I've been in the sector, 40 odd years.
And how long's Crystal Clear been delivering?
30 years next year.
So 30 years you've had products that have been bestsellers. You've got how many salons out there?
Oh gosh, throughout the world, probably about 5,000-6,000 salons.
Yeah, so you're global, worldwide, which is really good what you've achieved. And your innovation with this, for me, I'm late into the Crystal kind of clear. I was kind of, Leslie Wilkes, one of our aesthetic practitioners, kind of introduced me to you. If I'm honest, meeting, kind of really not really that interested about it. And you delivered a treatment on me, and I'm all about, it's got to get results, I've got to see a difference, and I kind of instantly know what's going to work and what's not going to work. And I got the buzz straight away by this machine. I think the innovation and the technology that you've got in this machine is second to none. I think it's just going to blow up. And I think anyone out there who doesn't get one of these machines into their clinics, you're going to miss the next big thing. But I also think that for me, a lot of our newly trained aesthetic practitioners go, oh, which product would you recommend? I think there's heroes in lots of products that I can talk about. I worked many years ago for a company called Stein, and they developed a global kind of product range called Elemis. I've worked with Ginos, Zainabaji. I think there's some really amazing, fantastic products out there. But as you're coming in as a new business, you generally have to buy into that range and spend a hell of a lot of money, 5, 10, 15,000 pounds. What I like about your company is that you can just buy one product. You can literally, open an account and you can get training and you can get on board and become part of the family, really, and you get the same support as what you do if you've been with you for 25, 30 years. So I'm a great believer in experience. Why I think you've been successful like us is it's about referral.
Yes. Yeah.
People buy into people, don't they? And, that experience that they've had. So packaged treatments in a kind of starter pack. Do you have like a starter pack?
Yeah, we do. Well, we have a starter pack for, you're quite right, you can buy 1 product, 2 products, 20 products, but we do have basic starter packs for clinics. And we call it our back bar edits. And they're just a staple products that you need to do your treatments every day. Effective products, really highly concentrated products. But for after our treatments, we also have aftercare kits, which is one of each of the main products I talked about a little bit earlier. I still use brightening, complex, and the skin repair, the cleanser, and a protect and repair because it's really powerful SPF. Now, there are 4 products that any client coming in for our treatments, we recommend they purchase. Now, I think a lot of us are the same. When clients come in and they purchase treatments and they'll pay for a course of, say, 6, we normally say to clinics, look, rather than give a discount, give them the aftercare kit. Because then that client is protected when they go away. Clients also, I'm sure you'll agree, but they have this real fear about they'll pay for their treatments. They're a little bit more wary about paying a lot of money for products, and then they have to just, if they're not having
justified. But I also think it's down sometimes to the practitioner that they're not having the knowledge in the products to be able to understand why they work and explain that to their clients. So I think
it's a journey.
It is a journey, and I think that education. So for a couple of £100, you can have a full back bar.
Literally, I think it's about £400 for a full back bar treatment.
Brilliant.
And then you can have the aftercare kits to sell to your clients after treatments. And I think they retail at about £54 retail to the client, or offer them as part of your treatments. And it just gives you that total, everything you need to start your treatment.
So it's cost effective, looks professional, it's packaged well, but it's affordable. And I think where we're at with the economy at the minute, I think that's a nice kind of place to be in, that you can offer your clients straight away without having that expenditure to have thousands and thousands and thousands on your shelf as ornaments.
Well, we do lots of online training for us, just for what we do, all our skincare and everything. And we do peeling products. We've got primer peel, which is a facial layering peel. So clients can literally, if they're starting off, they can start with small little batches of each product. We do lots of tools because I developed years ago the wand, which is a lifting device. We put the product inside the lifting device. And normally you'd use it at home to actually stimulate the skin, but it's an amazing treatment used in a facial or after you've done quite an intensive facial, because you're draining, you're calming, you're lifting. So we do lots of different various edits, we call it the skin edits.
So I think what will be good is we'll put a link through, we'll email out to our database for anyone who's interested in chatting to Jackie, I think it is. At HQ. I've met Jackie, she's lovely. So I think just to summarise on a sort of fun note then, Sharon, tell me something now, on you. Tell me something that no one might know that's kind of a little trick or a skill that you've got. What's your hobby, or what's your kind of, what's something that you can do? Can you,
When I'm treating a patient, I have a little scalpel in my pocket.
Do you? Come on, there must be something in your bag of tricks there.
My bag of tricks. Gosh, no treatment is the same. I'd be awful as a trainer. Because I change the treatment.
I think that's the thing, is I think really it's having that knowledge and imparting that knowledge and for somebody to be able to follow you.
Yeah.
And I think the good thing is that you get involved still in all your trainings.
I love it. I was just watching a training session with one of our girls, and I can't sit there because I want to say something.
Yeah.
And the girls, I'll have clinics coming, and I'll be doing a treatment to show something or a demonstration. And they go, "Oh, Sharon, that's different than what we've been trained," and it will be. And my trainers go mad because I'll develop new techniques. But it's good because then we can offer webinars.
Do as I say, not do as I do.
But it does change, and when you're working, you can be doing a different technique and think, "Wow, that result is amazing." So it's about imparting that knowledge. I love what I do. Best part of the business, I have to be honest. Hate running the business. I love developing.
Yeah, I think you're very innovative, and I think the good thing is each one of your ingredients. You've been part of it. You've developed your machines. They've been developed in the UK. They're UK based, which is really good. You've got that support, which is great. And we're excited now. We've been using Skin Storm in our level 5 aesthetic practice now for over kind of 4 months, seeing great results, and the practitioners are loving it. Which is really, really great. And I'm excited sort of for the future. So I'd like to thank you for this podcast and informative kind of information about how you develop your business and where you've come from and how you've done it. And I said, we'll pop some links and everything in the bio about how people can get in touch with Crystal Clear and any information with yourself and Jackie. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Crystal.